Okay, so you're here because you want to get up to speed and fast on what's really happening with AI, especially artificial general intelligence. Think of this as your shortcut.
Yeah, we've been digging into some really fascinating expert views from just the last couple of months, March and April 2025.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it covers a lot, from the big picture AGI timelines right down to the nitty-gritty of how AI could totally change coding and maybe even the internet itself.
Our goal really is to pull out the most crucial, the most interesting bits from these recent analyses. When might we actually see AGI, and what major AI stuff should we expect around, say, 2026?
It's definitely a field where experts don't all agree, which makes it more interesting, right? So we'll explore those different viewpoints.
Definitely. Lots of different angles.
Okay, let's jump in. The million-dollar question, AGI. When? We looked at this huge analysis, thousands of expert predictions going back, over a decade. What jumped out at you there?
Well, what's really striking is how the thinking has evolved. Looking at, over 8,600 predictions, the feeling is shifting. AGI, AI doing intellectual stuff like a human or better across lots of areas. It seems like it's becoming a when, not an if.
That feels like a big shift from maybe how people talked about it before.
Oh, absolutely. A noticeable
Right.
shift.
And when they zoomed in on just the AI researchers, the actual experts building this stuff, what timelines were they giving?
Okay, so they averaged out 10 different surveys. It's over 5,000 AI researchers in total. The consensus, about a 50-50 chance of hitting human-level machine intelligence somewhere between 2040 and 2061.
2040 to 2061. That's still quite a range, but it's a target.
It is. It shows a kind of broad agreement among people deep in the field.
But
And
the newer predictions seem to be squeezing that timeline, don't they? It feels faster now.
that's exactly what the analysis shows, a definite acceleration. Like there was a 2023 study, nearly 2,800 scientists, suggesting AGI could be here by 2040 at the latest.
So just in a few years, that window's shrinking noticeably.
Yeah. And then you've got the really aggressive end of the scale.
You mean Dario Amodei, Anthropic's CEO, saying, what, AGI as early as 2026?
Exactly. 2026. That's,
Yeah.
wow, it feels incredibly close.
It really does. So what's pushing this? Why the sudden speed up in predictions?
A huge part of it seems to be these transformer-based large language models, the tech behind ChatGPT, DALL-E, things like that.
Right. Those seem to come out of nowhere and just blew past expectations.
Totally. They seem to have really shaken things up compared to, say, 2019, when some experts are thinking AGI was still decades off, maybe even impossible.
So these LLMs are showing skills like understanding language, generating text that people thought were much further away.
Precisely. It's forced a rethink on how fast AI could develop. The analysis also digs into why many experts think AGI is, well, inevitable eventually. What are the main drivers they see?
Two big ideas, really. First, this theoretical idea that computing power can just keep increasing, unlike our human brains, which have, biological limits. They bring up Moore's law.
Ah, yes, Moore's law. The doubling of transistors roughly every 18 months, leading to that exponential growth.
Yeah, that's the idea. The AI systems could eventually just outcompute us. Although it's worth pointing out, the analysis does mention that Moore's law isn't quite tracking like it used to. There are challenges.
That's a really important caveat. The theory of massive compute power is there, but the practical side, the scaling, the physical limits, that's definitely part of the debate now. And the second driver.
Quantum computing, that's the other big one. The idea that quantum computers could process things in parallel, like trying all keys at once instead of one by one.
Right, potentially a massive leap for tackling the kind of complex problems you see in advanced AI.
Could unlock totally new levels of power for AI.
It could indeed. But we also have to remember, quantum computing itself is still pretty early stage. Applying it widely to AI is, well, it's still a ways off.
So potential game changer, but not tomorrow. Now, not everyone's buying this rapid progress story, are they? There are some pretty strong counterarguments.
Yes, and this is where it gets really interesting. Jan LeCun, who heads up AI at Facebook or Meta now, he's quite skeptical about AGI arriving anytime soon.
What's his main argument?
Well, he basically argues that the main way we're building AI now, especially these transformer models, it might just be the wrong road altogether for getting to real human-like general intelligence.
Huh. So the core technology might be a dead end for AGI.
That's his concern. He even suggests the whole idea of AGI, as we usually talk about it, might be kind of misleading.
How so?
He points out that we think of AGI as this single do-everything intelligence. But human intelligence isn't really like that, is it? It's more like a collection of specialized skills.
Ah, I see. Like being good at math doesn't automatically make you a great artist. Different modules almost.
Exactly. So he draws this line between the sci-fi AGI concept and how human minds actually work. Makes you wonder if we're even chasing the right thing with the current focus.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Let's shift gears a bit from the big AGI timeline debate to something more specific. There was this really bold prediction about code generation, or code gen, saying it looks solved by 2026.
Yeah, that one definitely catches the eye. It's attributed to someone writing as L. Rudolph L., and the logic behind it is pretty interesting.
What's the reasoning? How can coding be solved so quickly?
Well, three main things. First, coding is incredibly valuable economically, so there's huge incentive to automate it. Second, there's just a massive amount of code out there already for AI to learn from tons of training data.
Right, all the open source code, company code bases.
Exactly. And third, coding has what they call a clean feedback signal of success. Code either works or it doesn't, more or less. It's structured, there are rules, makes it easier for an AI to learn and verify its work compared to, say, writing poetry.
Okay, that makes sense. High value, tons of data, clear success metrics. So the prediction is AI gets really, really good at writing code very fast. The essay even had that description of human programmers becoming, what was it?
Tab switching, prompt writing monkeys.
Huh. Yeah, that's memorable. So humans guiding the AI, not writing the lines themselves.
That's the provocative picture, yeah. A shift from creation to direction and oversight. It also gets into the whole cybersecurity angle.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Initially, people might worry about AI writing insecure code, but the prediction is we'll figure that out.
Apparently, yes. The thinking is those initial security issues will be overcome. But, and this is the concerning part, AI will also make it easier for bad actors to create malware and launch attacks.
Ugh. So an AI-fueled cybersecurity arms race. Great.
It does sound like a classic double-edged sword scenario. Better defense tools, but also better attack tools. The prediction about programming languages was interesting, too.
Consolidation. Right.
Oh.
Python and JavaScript becoming even more dominant.
That's the idea. AI tools might just focus on generating and optimizing for those main languages, potentially making others less relevant over time.
Could change things for developers deciding what to learn next.
It certainly could. Less need for polyglot programmers, maybe, if AI handles translation and generation using those core languages. And then there were the predictions about the big tech players.
Right. Microsoft potentially pushing out major updates almost daily. And Google maybe getting sloppy because they're launching so many AI-driven features so fast.
It paints a picture of incredibly accelerated development, yeah. The idea seems to be that if AI handles the bulk of the coding, companies can just iterate and release features at a crazy pace.
And they predicted more hiring of product managers to manage the AIs.
That's part of it. Shifting focus from managing human coders to managing the output of these AI coding agents, setting the direction, defining the features.
And that point about internal politics becoming the bottleneck, not the tech, but getting teams to agree and move.
Yeah, I found that fascinating. Suggests that well-organized functional teams could get huge boosts from AI code gen, while companies bogged down in bureaucracy might just spin their wheels, even with the faster tools.
Shows that tech isn't everything. Human factors still matter. Okay, let's pivot again. Web 4. What is that supposed to be?
So think of it as the next step for the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We had Web 1.0, mostly just reading stuff. Web 2.0, reading and writing, social media, interaction. Web 4 is pitched as a programmable internet that's customized to everyone.
Programmable. Customized. How?
The idea is that individuals could use AI codegen tools to tailor websites and online services to their own needs, like writing little programs to change how things look or work just for you.
So I could change how a news site displays comments using AI?
Potentially, yes. The prediction is we'll see startups enabling this and big companies offering APIs so users can plug in their own AI-generated customizations.
But do most people really want to program their own internet experience? A lot of us just want things to work out of the box.
That's a fair point, and the essay acknowledges it. Most might stick with the defaults, but it also suggests a kind of counter trend. If you really dislike something about a site, say, the algorithm on a social feed or, the comment section, you could use AI to build your own version or interface. Connect it back to the original site's data. They call this AI schlep. and maybe attract other users who feel the same way.
Ah, so like building custom front ends or filters on top of existing platforms powered by AI.
Exactly. Like maybe you filter your news feed to only show positive news or filter comments to only show ones from verified experts, a sort of bottom-up personalization enabled by AI, making the schlep of integration easier.
Interesting vision, a more adaptable internet. Okay, lastly, let's touch on the Gartner predictions for 2026. They focused a lot on deep learning and generative AI.
Yeah, Gartner had some specific forecasts. One big one was about the metaverse. They predict 25% of people globally will spend at least an hour a day there by 2026 for work, shopping, education, fun.
An hour a day, a quarter of the population, that's significant.
It is, and they see deep learning as absolutely key to making the metaverse work well. Things like better gesture recognition, more accurate eye tracking.
How does that help the metaverse experience?
Well, better gesture recognition means more natural interaction, right? Pointing, waving, maybe even subtle hand movements. And eye tracking lets the system know where you're looking, making experiences more responsive, maybe even helping avatars convey emotion better.
So making it feel less clunky, more real?
That's the goal, using deep learning-powered computer vision. They also mentioned AI storytelling, using AI to create more dynamic and believable narratives within these virtual worlds.
So the takeaway for businesses is take the metaverse seriously, it's coming soon.
That seems to be Gartner's message, yes.
Yeah.
A real platform for customer engagement, new revenue models, reaching markets.
And alongside that, they talked a lot about generative AI.
Definitely. That's the AI that creates new stuff, text, images, audio, code, using deep learning. We already see it with ChatGPT, DLE, and the like.
What applications did Gartner highlight?
All sorts. Content creation, obviously marketing copy, articles, maybe even simple scripts. Design assistants generating prototypes, suggesting layouts. And entertainment, AI music, AI-generated game elements. Also, big strides in natural language processing, NLP.
Meaning AI understanding and using human language better.
Exactly. Think AI chatbots that can actually handle complex customer service issues, not just basic FAQs. Or AI in healthcare, analyzing patient notes or research papers to find patterns.
And in finance.
Automating the analysis of dense financial reports, contracts, things like that. Basically, NLP getting good enough to handle specialized language and complex tasks across many industries.
The economic numbers they projected were pretty staggering, too.
Weren't they? A potential $15.7 trillion market impact by 2030. Huge market cap growth, strong annual growth rate, plus millions of new jobs expected in tech and data analysis.
So massive economic transformation potential.
That's the forecast.
Yeah.
A really significant shift driven by AI. They also briefly touched on the growing importance of ethics, things like bias, transparency.
Right, the crucial need to develop this responsibly. Good.
Yeah, essential.
Okay, so let's try to wrap this up. We've covered a lot of ground. A real spectrum of predictions for AGI, from maybe just a couple of years away to, well, maybe much further out or needing totally new approaches.
Yeah, and then the potential for AI to just completely change how software gets made, maybe leading to that super fast development cycle, and even that customizable Web 4 internet.
Plus, the big role expected for deep learning and generative AI in the very near future, especially powering things like the metaverse and transforming how we interact with information through NLP.
But it's so important to hold on to both sides, right? The excitement and the rapid progress, but also the caution from experts like LeCun saying, hang on, maybe we need fundamental breakthroughs. Maybe we're not on a straight path to AGI just yet.
Absolutely. It's not a done deal. Lots of questions remain. Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener. Given all this, the conflicting timelines, the potential disruption in coding, the rise of generative AI in the metaverse, what parts of your work or even just your daily life do you think will be most impacted by all this in the next few years?
Yeah, and what big questions does this deep dive raise for you personally about where intelligence, both human and artificial, is headed? Definitely some food for thought there.